It has been a minute. It has been a while since I've uploaded videos. If you didn't see my Twitter video that went up a little bit earlier today, we've been super busy. I haven't been grinding as much, but we got to get back on the grind, and that starts today. I promised you in the previous video when I talked about the 10 most surprising players of the 2020 season that I would talk about the 10 most disappointing, so that's what you got coming at you today. There were way more than 10 guys, so if you want to see me do the most disappointing player from every single team, make sure you drop a like on today's video. Hit about 3,000, you getting that. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, click that sub button, join the team. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Let me know who you think has been disappointing this year. You might make an appearance in the most disappointing player from every team video. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, second channel. All the links to everything is down in the description. You need to follow me over there. So yeah, let's talk about some disappointing players, because let me tell you, there are some big names on this list for sure. So let's get it started with quite possibly the most disappointing player of the 2020 season. That's going to be Shohei Ohtani. Now, one of the reasons why he's been super disappointing is because, of course, he's not pitching this year. He re-injured his arm. That's never going to be a good sign. But also at the plate, Ohtani has looked horrendous. He's currently in like a 2 for 22 skid. He has been struggling of recent. And when you look at his numbers for the entire year, there's just not a lot of great things to talk about. He's played 19 games, 4 homers, 4 doubles, 11 RBI, stealing 2 bases. But you look at his slash lines and they're just very unimpressive. 171 average with a 241 on base, 382 slugging, and a 623 OPS. That is about 230 points lower than his career average so far. That is not the Shohei Ohtani we're used to. And like I said on the mound, he was horrible this year. We ended up finding out that he was hurt. But when he stepped on the mound, he was really bad as well. He pitched in 1 2/3 innings, made 2 starts, 37.8 ERA, a whip at 6.6, wasn't striking anybody out. The velocity was down. He has a 43.2 walk per 9 with a 16.2 strikeout per 9. Regardless though, Ohtani is not looking very strong this year. Hopefully he gets back healthy soon, because clearly that is hurting his play. But right now he's got to go down as one of the most disappointing players in 2020. For the second player of today's video, let's go to the Chicago Cubs and talk about Javier Baez. Yes, Javi Baez. Super disappointing this year in 2020. Baez is a guy who has been an MVP candidate the last 2 years. He makes an impact with the glove, makes an impact on the bases, and of course he makes an impact with his bat. But right now in 2020, the bat is not coming alive at all. He's still always going to be a great fielder. He makes flashy plays. He's got a great arm, and he's going to put 110% effort into every single game. It's just right now that's not producing. So far in 25 games, while the Cubs are playing well, Baez is not. 3 homers, 5 doubles, 10 RBIs, and a stolen base. He's only walked 4 times while striking out 34 times, which is atrocious. About on par for what he normally does, but it gets even more magnified when the slash line isn't there. 194 average, 240 on base, 344 slugging, and a 584 OPS. Javi Baez has not been strong for the Cubs. It's shocking they've actually had that much success with Baez playing poorly. So if you're a Cubs fan, you got to think, hey, if he's playing bad and we're winning games, imagine what's going to happen when he plays well, because he's not a bad player. He's just playing like it in 2020. Next up in today's video, we're going out west to talk about Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Madison Bumgarner. Ooh, what a disappointing year for Bumgarner thus far. Signed a fairly decent contract this offseason with the Diamondbacks, 5 years, $85 million, but based on his play and the fact that he has gotten hurt, Bumgarner is not living up to that price tag, which you thought would be pretty easy to live up to. 15 mil's not a lot for him when he was still a fairly good pitcher. So far, he's made 4 starts this year, pitching in 17 1/3 innings, 9.35 ERA, a whip at 1.558, all by far career highs. I mean, he's just pitching terribly. The strikeouts are down, the walks are up, the homers are up through the roof, and the hits are up. He's pretty much not doing anything right. He's even been hitting guys. He's hit 4 guys in 17 1/3 innings. His career high is 10, and that was in 207 innings. He has no control right now. Clearly something was up. That's why he hit the IL. The Diamondbacks need Bumgarner to step it up for them to continue to make a push for the playoffs. They've started to play better baseball recently, but if they want to get to where we think they can be, they can't just rely on Zach Gallen. You gotta see Madison Bumgarner go out there and shove, and he's just not doing that in 2020. 18 earned runs in 17 1/3 innings with 7 homers is horrendous. I expected better from Mad Bum, not gonna lie. Thought it was a great pickup. For the fourth player of today's video, we got shortstop for the New York Yankees, Gleyber Torres. Now, Torres, of course, had some pretty good years the last 2 years. 2018 came up as a rookie, finished 3rd. He's been in back-to-back All-Star games. He's a huge part of that Yankees lineup. But in 2020, now he did just hit the IL. Prior to that, though, he was horrendous. 1 homer, 2 doubles. He has 3 extra base hits in 24 games, 91 plate appearances. The strikeout to walk ratio, surprisingly, is a lot better than it's been in the past. 17 strikeouts to 12 walks. But the problem is he's just not hitting for any sort of power. 15 of his 18 hits are singles. 231 average, 341 on base, 295 slugging to give him an OPS at 636. While his on base is improving, he's not hitting the ball for any sort of power whatsoever right now. He's struggling at the plate. The IL actually might be a good thing for him. Maybe get a chance to relax, get back into his groove. And I don't know, maybe it's just because they're not playing the Orioles that much, or the Orioles aren't as bad bad as they were. Regardless, it's shocking to see Gleyber Torres play so poorly considering he hit 38 long balls last year and has a career OPS around 833. So for Gleyber, 2020, not a great start this year. Ooh, halfway through the video, and we got one of my favorite players in Major League Baseball, Francisco Lindor. Lindor hasn't been good. In fact, it's been bad, which hurts the Indians because it probably makes it even easier now to trade Francisco Lindor. We all know how good he is, but you can now leverage maybe giving up less because you're like, man, he's been bad in 2020. What's going on? Regardless, he's still a great player. It's just this year's not his year. In 26 games, he has 4 homers and 5 doubles with 13 RBIs, to which you'd go, that's not terrible, but he's hitting 234, which is by far a career low, 293 on base, 393 slugging to give him a 686 OPS. Again, for a guy who's hovering around the 830s in the OPS department, the last 3 seasons he's hit 30 plus homers and 40 doubles. You are not seeing a lot of production out of him. The power is not there, the average isn't there, and his glove is still good, but it could be better. Lindor is off to a slow start for sure in 2020. Coronavirus has everybody a little bit off, and it makes sense. Indians got a lot to think about. They just had the crazy stuff with Clevenger and Plesac. I'd like to see Francisco Lindor turn it around because, like I said, he is one of my favorite players, and he is so good. It's probably just a cold 26-game stretch, which can happen. People can have bad months, and that's what it looks like for Francisco Lindor. Number 6, Boston Red Sox. Disappointing team in general. You could probably put everybody on there, but let's focus in on Rafael Devers, which pains me to say this because you gotta love yourself some Rafael Devers. It's just he's not playing well this year. Now, he has played a little bit better of late, but he's been absolutely atrocious in the field. He has taken a huge step back again. Never known for his glove, but he's been really bad this year. And at the plate, he's just not producing like we expected. 4 homers, 7 doubles, and 12 RBIs in 25 games, 107 plate appearances, striking out 27 times, walking 5, a 240 average with a 290 on base, 430 slugging, gives him an OPS at 720. If it wasn't for the 11 extra base hits, Rafael Devers would be having a miserable season. Bad in the field, not having a great time at the plate, and it's showing with his stats. Part of the reason why the Red Sox are struggling too, they're just getting little to no production out of Rafael Devers, among other players. Do I expect this to continue? No, Devers is super talented. He's only 23 years old, just like all the other guys on this list. It's disappointing because you expect them to be better. Chances are by the end of the year they will, but right now, Devers, real disappointing. The 7th player in today's video, it's been pretty rough. Josh Bell of the Pittsburgh Pirates. We saw him break out massively last year. The first half of the season, he had an OPS like in the 1100s. 37 homers, 37 doubles, and 936 OPS for the year. That was a great job by Josh Bell in 2019. 2020, not so much. 2 homers, 2 doubles, 10 RBIs in 22 games. He's hitting 217 with a 264 on base, 313 slugging, and a 577 OPS. That is absolutely abysmal. The Pirates weren't expected to do much this year, but at least you thought Josh Bell would go out there and give you some good at-bats. Right now, he's not doing that very often. And it's not like he's got the best glove either at first base that can make up for the lack of offense. His glove isn't great, and when his bat's not working, Josh Bell becomes a little bit of a hole at that position. What's concerning to me with Josh Bell is that the second half of the season, we saw him drop off quite a bit. His numbers were not the same. I'm worried, is that carrying into 2020? Maybe he was just hot in 2019. Is 2020 more indicative of the kind of player he is? I don't think so, but it's starting to get a little concerning if you're a Pirates fan. Your first base position's getting a little sketchy. Next up, let's talk about a player who's on a team that surprised us, but his performance has been super disappointing. That's Matt Boyd. Matt Boyd was one of those guys who you thought maybe had a chance to be a dark horse Cy Young candidate, and I'm one of those guys who said it. You look at his peripherals, he's got good stuff. It just doesn't really correlate ever. He doesn't tend to pitch that well, and 2020 continues on that nightmare. He gave up 39 homers last year, which was league leading in the American League, and this year in 2020 he hasn't slowed down, giving up 8 and 23 and a third innings while allowing a Major League Baseball high 25 earned runs. He's made 5 starts, has a 9.64 ERA with a whip almost at 2 at 1.886, 13.1 hits per 9, 3.1 homers, 3.9 walks. He's still getting strikeouts because he does have good stuff. It's just guys are hitting him hard, and he's not throwing a lot of strikes. Boyd's a super disappointing player because if you're a Tigers fan, this was a guy you thought you could trade and get a lot of pieces back, but the more and more he pitches and goes out there every 5 days, it looks like his value gets lower and lower because right now Matt Boyd is one of the worst, if not worst, pitchers in baseball, which is unfortunate because he could be really good. He just isn't. His outcomes are not good. So while there could be a good pitcher inside of Matt Boyd somewhere, he has not shown it thus far in 2020, and that's what's disappointing. He's performed terribly. Speaking of another left-handed pitcher, which I feel like I only got left-handed pitchers in this video, Steven Matz of the New York Mets. Now, I could have gone with Pete Alonso, who's equally having a disappointing season, but I went with Steven Matz because Alonso is starting to get back to at least closer where he was. Steven Matz lost his spot in the starting rotation. Matz has been moved to the bullpen. He's going to be a left-handed arm out of there, which we kind of need outside of Justin Wilson, because on the bump when he started this year, he's been horrible. There's no way around it. 5 starts, 9.0 ERA in 23 innings pitched, giving up 9 homers, which leads Major League Baseball, striking out 23 batters, only walking 6. The walks are not the problem. They are just tattooing him. They are lighting him up. 30 hits, 23 earned runs in 23 innings. That is so incredibly terrible. I'm sorry. And that's why he lost his starting rotation spot. Now, I think it's safe to say, kind of like Matt Boyd, everyone in baseball sees Steven Matz and goes, he should be so much better. When is he going to finally step up? When is he going to break out? He's got the stuff. When is it going to show? We saw a little bit of it last year towards the end in 2019, which was really promising, but 2020, Steven Matz has gone back to just not being very good, and it's the reason why he's lost his starting rotation spot. The Mets needed him badly this year, and he crumbled, which is unfortunate because obviously I want the Mets to win, but Steven Matz gotta be one of the most disappointing players this year. And then last but not least, we have got the trash can banger himself, the little engine that once could when he was cheating, Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani right now is the little engine that can't. He's been possibly one of the worst players in baseball, can't even field anymore, barely getting on base, and he's hitting horrendously. It almost seems like Shohei Ohtani became very reliant on knowing what pitches was coming, and that hurts me to say that because I liked Shohei Ohtani. He's a little guy, you always root for him, and now it's kind of obvious that cheating really helped him out quite a bit. So far in 2020, he's played in 25 games, 3 homers, 3 doubles, 12 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and caught twice. He struck out 23 times, walked 8, a 202 average with a 263 on base, 312 slugging, and a 575 OPS, easily the lowest of his career. Even go back to 2011, his rookie year, way worse. Altuve is just looking lost at the plate. A lot of people are rooting against him. He's made that very easy to do, of course, with the cheating stuff, and people are throwing curveballs, and he is ducking out of the way. It seems like he has no clue what's coming, which is funny because when he was hitting well, he did know what was coming. So I hate to keep harping on it, but Shohei Ohtani, man, you gotta step up because right now you are looking like a fraud. The cheating scandal comes out, the cheating stops, and Shohei Ohtani also seems to stop. He is playing horribly, without a doubt, the most disappointing player in 2020. There's no question about it. Dude forgot how to play baseball. So those are the 10 most disappointing players in my opinion for the 2020 MLB season. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Who did I forget? Who shouldn't be on this list? Let me know what you think. Remember to leave a like on the video. 3,000 likes, you'll get the most disappointing player from every single team. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Snapchat. Links are all in the description as always. And that's where we're going to wrap up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. The grind is back. We've been slacking a little bit, but we're coming back strong. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.